So I do want to, oh, Colonel Phil's wife called. Okay, I got to say hi to, hi, Colonel Phil's wife.
Hey.
Hey.
How are y'all doing today?
Good, good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Do you have a name besides Colonel Phil's wife?
Yes, my name is Cathy.
Hi, Cathy.
With a C. But he calls me Booger, and most of the people on Facebook and any place else that contacts him knows me as Booger.
So we heard that you kind of came around to the skeptic side of things. How do you like it? The water's pretty nice.
Kinda. I guess I'm like anybody that has been a Christian all their life. But I became disillusioned with Christianity quite a while back. I still believed in God. But, you know, Christians didn't act like Christians.
Well,
if you understand what I'm saying.
I remember as a Christian saying that, and then later on I started going, you know, okay, if you want to call yourself a Christian, I'm not going to try and define Christianity for you. But when I was a Christian, I did have a mental image of what I thought a Christian was, and that was somebody who was honest, ethical, kind, caring, compassionate, and all of those things I had wrapped up in what I thought a Christian was, and I learned that that's actually just being a good person, and we could do that too. So is that what you mean, kind of the being a Christian as a good person versus just being a good person?
Well, I stopped calling myself a Christian a long time ago and simply called myself a believer. But as Philip mentioned to you, I had an experience right about the time that we met, which was 18 years ago. And I was an alcoholic for over 25 years. And I quit drinking and got sober. And my last husband is how I met Philip. He committed suicide. And so I was at home with that grief. I had been sober for 2 weeks and did not want to go back to drinking because his suicide was because of drugs and alcohol. And I was in the bathroom asking God to please give me the strength to not go get a drink. And it was as if I actually physically felt someone put their hand on the top of my head and just a warmth
No,
from my head all the way down my body.
I've had that. I've had that. I guess. Oh, go ahead and finish.
That was why it was so hard for me to give up.
That's totally understood. I know that I personally, in times of incredibly great stress and emotional, you know, just being completely overloaded, that I've seen and heard things. And I know that when I've been wrapped up and totally in, you know, church service and also outside of church, like at an amazing concert, I remember having that, and doing drugs. I'm feeling that. But, you know, well, I mean, when you look at it, it does feel like that. And it does reaffirm to you what you're hoping is true. You know, we had a guy call in a couple months ago who said, I heard a knocking on the roof. And that's how I knew that God was real. And I wasn't trying to tell him the knocking didn't happen. I was just trying to explain to him that there are other things that could have happened. And that's okay, because if you'd say you don't know, then maybe you'd be open to finding out more, you know? So
yeah, well,
maybe he could have got his roof fixed.
Since I've been watching your shows, I understand so much more.
I'm so glad.
I really do. I don't call myself an atheist. I'm just a person who loves everybody. And I try to express that in my everyday life.
You know, I know that the atheist word can be...
It's got some baggage.
It does. But I will tell you, me personally, I'm in a safe place in my life. I'm in a place where I can be an out and open atheist for other people to be able to interact with. And I gotta tell you, I've gotten a lot of people in my personal life, even before I did this show, who said, hey, you were the first atheist that I've ever met, or, oh my gosh, I thought I was the only one. So there is a good argument for embracing the term, but honestly, just be awesome. I mean, really, if you're going to be awesome, I'm really not going to complain. You know, just thank you. And thank you for saying you're watching the show and that it helped. I really appreciate that. That means so much to me. Thank you.
Well, you guys are really terrific. And, you know, I get into the animation that Philip's been doing for you guys. He shows me every step of the way what he's doing.
Maybe you're his muse.
I don't know. I hope so. We have multiple marriages behind us, and this is the longest either one of us have been married. We'll be married 18 years in July.
Congratulations.
And we are together 24/7, and we never fight.
Dang.
I mean, it's the most wonderful thing I've ever had in my life.
You are setting up some unrealistic standards for the rest of us. You know that, right?
That's relationship goals right there.
Yeah.
No.
Cathy, thank you for calling in. We really appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate everything that y'all are doing for other atheists. I'm just not quite sure why people with cosmology questions and all that cause an atheist show, but...
Well, you know, I think it has to do with skepticism. And there are a lot of cosmological arguments that people try and get to try and prove that there's a God. And so, and so they give that argument. They say, well, something had to create everything, therefore I call that something God. And so you kind of got to break it down and go, well, what's wrong with that argument? Well, there's no saying that something actually was there or that something created a thing. Creation implies that there's thought and care, and none of those things are proven. And so when you have people that are calling in about that, a lot of that is tangentially related, especially to things that we talk about.
Not to mention that those kinds of conversations are really interesting to have. Like, talking about the nature of the universe is really fascinating, even if you don't have all of the tools in the toolbox to maybe discuss it as accurately as it should be, but it's still really fascinating to have, and it's something that maybe people don't get to talk about very often. And since it's kind of related to atheism in that there's a lot of cosmological arguments, like Eric said, people use it as an opportunity to, like, oh, there's this platform that I can use to talk about this, to have this conversation that I've been wanting to have, and nobody in my life wants to talk about it because they think I'm boring. But it's an opportunity for those kinds of conversations, and I think people like to take advantage of that. And not necessarily in a negative way, but just in a, oh, this is a thing that I can do, so maybe I'm going to do it kind of way.
Yeah. What did you say?
I don't think you should be called abominable.
I took it as a compliment, quite honestly.
EJ?
I mean, if somebody like Hamish thinks that I'm abominable, then that's the best compliment that he can give me. So I'm taking it and I'm running with it.
Yeah, EJ is abominable.
Well, we'll just have to come up with an abominable character for you.
I look forward to it. I look forward to it.
Definitely. Cathy, thank you for calling in. You take care, okay?
All right. Y'all have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.